Hey guys, ASP, we're about to do our Spider-Man Far From Home breakdown, trailer reaction and review. I've already seen the trailer, so it's not like my first reaction, but what this is, guys, is the amount of information this trailer gives us is insane. You know, Spider-Man Far From Home is the epilogue of Phase 3. It's what's going to lead us into Phase 4 and beyond for Marvel and their new slate of movies that are coming out, which we'll talk to about in another movie, Phase 4. That will be another video. But what we want to talk about here is this trailer, and kind of, you know, there's going to be spoilers in this. Tom there is our spoiler warning champion now, apparently, which is ironic and hilarious, but he gives us a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Endgame, you stop, you go see Endgame, you come back and you watch this trailer. So yeah, I'm giving you the same warning in my video here on YouTube. Tom's about to say it all, though. I'll let Tom do all the talking.
Far From Home trailer is about to play, but if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, stop watching because there's some serious spoilers about to come up. But if you have seen Avengers Endgame, enjoy the trailer. Everywhere I go, I see it.
So straight away, sorry, I have to keep muting and unmuting the mic so it doesn't double record behind the scenes. So the first thing we get, guys, is, you know, these murals are on the walls giving an homage to Iron Man, Tony Stark. So it's very obvious and very, you know, it's clear. The world knows what happened. The world knows that well, more or less, we may not know every detail, but they know the general gist that Iron Man has sacrificed himself to bring the snapped, decimated, I think was the in-world terminology, the decimated victims have all been brought back to life, thanks to Iron Man's sacrifice, giving his own life, defeating Thanos and defeating Thanos' army. And you can see here that, you know, Spider-Man is struggling to cope with, you know, he's sad, he's looking at the mural, struggling to cope with the loss of his mentor. But the world knows this, you know, and all the different complexities of all these people coming back 5 years later. We'll talk to that a little later in the trailer, but let's get through the trailer first. But that's what we open on, is all the feels from Endgame. They are straight back. We have them straight away. I mean, it's like, wow, yeah, Endgame was rough. And we open this trailer up and we immediately go, yeah, Endgame was rough. We lost our Iron Man is dead in this world. He sacrificed himself. So yeah, that's the first thing we get.
His face. I just really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too. I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
Wow. So straight away, I mean, Happy Hogan's great. We see the full emotional impact of it on Peter Parker here. He's really upset. The eyes, you can tell he's floods of tears a lot of time. Happy Hogan reassuring him with that line is nice, that, you know, Tony Stark had to do what he did because he, you know, he was a self-centered person initially, but then he gave his priority, as he says, to capturing Endgame is, you know, it's important that we get everyone back who was decimated, but we need to protect what we have now. His daughter and Pepper is what he's talking about there. That's his main priority, protecting what he has now. So why he gives his life to Thanos is because Thanos threatens to destroy all of Earth. He says it's no longer about, you know, half and half and balance. He's going to destroy this little troublesome Earth and break it down to its smallest atom and just restart with people who don't know what happened. And by doing that, he's threatening Morgan and Pepper. So Tony has to give his life for them to live, and that's why he did that. And, you know, Happy's just reassuring that he did that in the hopeful knowledge that there was people like Peter Parker who would carry on his legacy afterwards. So we got some classic Spider-Man action there straight away, which is awesome. But look at this guy here behind the chandelier. Nice platform boots, like kind of leopard skin pants. Looks like a leopard skin waist jacket or you know, blazer or something like that. To me, that's Kraven the Hunter. It's, you know, why wouldn't it be? I'm not sure what it is really, but it looks like they're either Kraven or they're people who work for him. This guy here actually is potentially wearing leopard skin now that I look at it even closer. Or that just could be the webbing effect that makes it look like that. But this guy, it's not webbing. That's definitely leopard skin spots going on there. So yeah, I mean, it's leading me down the road of Kraven in some way, whether that's Kraven himself or, you know, one of Kraven's henchmen. I'm not sure, but that's who Spider-Man seems to have been tangling with in the beginning of this movie. And it's this classic Spider-Man action, the flips, the jumps, you know, the way he's tied everyone up there. It's perfect. It's really getting to the essence of the comic books, and yeah, it's really good. I'm just liking the intro to this trailer. I love the intro to the trailer so far. We had the feels from Endgame to carry over, so we're immediately taking it very, very seriously, and then we get into the Spider-Man side of things, which is just the more lighter, more fun, and just really enjoyable stuff.
The next Iron Man now?
Well, no, I don't have time. I'm too busy doing your jobs. What? I'm kidding. Look, keep up the good work because I am going on vacation.
Heads up, Nick Fury's calling you.
So the next thing I want to stop to talk about here is, well, first of all, the joke with the cops is great. Perfect comic book essence there straight off the bat. But then we also get, the jump between suits. We have the Stark enhanced suit when he's swinging around the city. But then we jump here when he's talking to Happy. He's wearing the Iron Spider suit. So is he wearing both? Is one a flashback in time from when before the snap? Or is he wearing the Iron Spider all the time in the beginning of this movie? It's not really clear, but I think the Iron Spider is what he's more favoring. Potentially, but we're going between suits here, and that suit on him looks so. It looks great. Whether it's CGI, whether it's real life, that suit, it just looks really impressive to me. So yeah, moving on. We got a funny Nick Fury joke coming up.
I don't really want to talk to Nick
Answer
Fury.
the phone.
Why?
Because if you don't talk to him, then I have to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. You sent Nick Fury to voicemail?
I gotta go.
You do not ghost Nick Fury.
What up, dorks? What's up? We're just talking about the trip.
I'm here in St. Marco Polo's. Oh,
I think MJ really likes me.
that reminds me when I first fell in love.
So before we get into what's about to happen, I just want to talk about the rest of the Spider-Man cast. So it's very clear that Ned, MJ, they've all, and Flash, and the other kind of core members of the debating team, they all obviously were decimated or snapped, as we're all saying as well. They all were dusted, and they have all come back now thanks to Iron Man. So they're all, even though 5 years has passed, for them it's all been about 5 minutes, and they all came back. We will see obviously characters in this where, people who were in school with Iron Man who are now 5 years older in college or whatever, and then people who were 5 years younger who are now in the same class as as Spider-Man and Ned and the rest. So there's going to be that mix in school where, kids who kids Flash probably bullied are now either older than him or the same age as him, things like that. Those kind of dynamics might play out little bits. But the core cast of this obviously for storytelling purposes, we're all dusted and are now all back and at the same age, haven't aged to 5 years. But we are in 2023 here. So the MCU is now ahead of real world.
You're a very difficult person to contact,
Spider-Man.
So from the first trailer, you'll notice that line is different. He just said, "You're a very difficult man to find, Spider-Man." In the first trailer, he said, "It's nice to finally meet you, Spider-Man," is what Nick Fury says. If you go back to the first trailer that came out. Now, the reason they could have changed that would have been that Nick Fury and Spider-Man had never met until the funeral of Tony Stark in Endgame, where they were in the same place. We didn't see them meet, but you can imagine that they were in the same place and kind of more or less mingled generally in groups together. I mean, maybe not a direct one-on-one conversation, but they would have been around each other. So nice to finally meet you, Spider-Man, in the original trailer pre-Endgame has been changed to what I believe will be in the movie, and you're a very hard man to track down, which is simply because they didn't want to spoil it. Potentially that they already met each other. It's not. That's kind of a reach. I'll admit that's kind of a reach. So maybe not. But it is a different line from the first trailer to the newest trailer here. That's of interest. And also he has just darted Ned, which is something that's weird, but he's done that. So yeah, okay, let's play it on.
This is Mr. Beck.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world?
Beck is from Earth, just not ours. The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
Right. What? This is the biggest, most insane thing that MCU has ever tried to do and are doing. So Quentin Beck, the original Mysterio from the comics, there have been a few versions of Mysterio. One was a guy who was in prison with him who took on the mantle after him. There's another magician guy who took it on. But the original Mysterio is Quentin Beck, an actor. And we'll come back to the fact that he's an actor and his comic book incarnation. He is meant to be a villain. He's a villain in the comics. However, here he's working with Nick Fury and seems to potentially be a good guy. Now, if I can bring it back, actually, I believe it's in this. Do we see it? Maybe there. Possibly him. Yeah, it is him. Yeah, that guy right there. That actor is playing a character named Dimitri, who, and obviously the real name of the Chameleon, I'm bringing in a new character now, the Chameleon is Dimitri in the comics. So there's a lot of speculation that is the Chameleon, that the Nick Fury we've seen is being fooled or is being played by Chameleon. So there's all these possibilities. I think that would be a great plot that the Chameleon is working with Mysterio, to fool Nick Fury and Maria Hill, or play them potentially, and fool Tom Holland, Spider-Man. Don't know yet, but it's great speculation, and I do believe this guy is going to be playing more than we believe, and that he could be the Chameleon potentially, but we don't know for sure, and that's not confirmed.
We could have used someone like you on my world.
Your world, Beck, is from Earth, just not ours. The snap tore a hole in our dimension.
So, in an extended clip of that's gone online as well, it was taken down afterwards though, so I'm not sure if it was intended to be up, so potential spoilers here for the actual movie itself, so skip maybe 20 seconds of the video right now if you don't want to hear it. But you're still here? Okay. Quentin Beck says that Spider-Man is from Earth 616 and that he is from Earth 833. So yeah, this is insane. First of all, Marvel's main cinematic universe is Earth 616. For them to say that Spider-Man is from that means that the MCU is the main comics universe as well, which it wasn't supposed to be, but I guess the MCU are doing fan service for that possibly. But we know that from an unofficial source, the MCU is supposed to be Earth 99999 or something like that, 199999. I forget the exact number of nines, but it's basically this larger universe. I should have researched that number. But yeah, it's this more outlandish Earth, far up the number chart, shall we say. Not 616, because that's the main comic line. And how can the main comic line and the MCU line be the same if there's discrepancies between them both? That doesn't really make sense. So yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence as to why they're calling it 616, but that plays into the possibility that Quentin Beck is an actor who is lying. Therefore, it may not be the 616 universe. Maybe he is or isn't lying about that. Who knows? He may not be from Earth 833, which is another universe that does appear in the comics. 833 is a referenced Earth or universe. So yeah, it's interesting. We have the effects of the snap, where the ancient one back in Endgame told us when you take a stone out and when you mess with the things, you're not, you can't affect what's happened, as Bruce Banner said, but you are creating new realities. So they are after branching off the main timeline. They're possibly in other realities. The MCU is taking in a bit of a detour, meandering around. So yeah, it's interesting. This is the biggest thing. We got multiverses now confirmed in the MCU. We have multiple versions of Earth, multiple versions of our characters. And I get that people are saying this kind of cheats death, because now you can have Iron Man come back, because it just won't be 616 Iron Man. It will be 833 Iron Man, or another version of Iron Man, and that Tony Stark will come back. And look, they could do that. They totally could do that. Or they could go down the Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse route of where there's multiple versions of characters, but they're all very, Peter Porker is a ham version. They won't go that extreme with the MCU, but you know what I mean? They're very different versions of one another. Like, this could open up Spider-Gwen coming in, where Gwen Stacy is Spider-Man instead of Peter Parker, and she's also there in the same universe. Miles Morales, the ultimate version of Spider-Man, is he going to come? Is open to way to him now? So yeah, you've got, multiple universes now exist. The Spider-Verse is set up. This also can link, a multiverse is also the easy way now to crowbar in your X-Men, crowbar in your Fantastic Four. You get in Venom from the Sony movie, can go into this universe if he wasn't in it already. We don't know if he is or isn't. And it brings us back to an interesting comment where, we were told in past interviews with people from Sony that, the Venom and Spider-Man were not in the same universe, but they were in the same reality. Well, now those universes can jump realities to one another. What are they doing? It's insane. They can do whatever they want, I guess. So yeah, I'm taking a lot of time to talk about some stuff. We'll just move on here. We see here what I think is Sandman, but it's just obviously they're being called elementals. But we've got Hydra Man, Sandman, and Molten Man, I believe, are the three elementals. They're just basically blown up to be monstrous versions of the comic book villains. But anyway, yeah, that's what I think.
You're saying there's a multiverse?
You have a job to do. You're coming with us.
There's gotta be someone else you can use. What about Thor?
Off-world.
Captain Marvel?
Unavailable.
But I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Bitch, please. You've been to space.
Nick Fury, that's perfect Sam L right there. We saw clips there of, Molten Man as well. The threats they're doing, the monstrous damage. Spider-Man basically doesn't want to be the Iron Man's replacement. He just wants to be Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Nick Fury challenges that. It's amazing. But yeah, he's asking about Thor and Captain Marvel. We know Thor's gone with the Guardians. Captain Marvel's probably gone back, as she conveniently always does, to the other, Kree universe worlds. and Skrull, where, you know, that Kree and Skrull space where she is helping out the worlds and the people there. She basically is going back and forth. Earth is just one of the places she protects. She protects multiple worlds. We don't know how many, it's not been said, but she can travel at quicker than the speed of light, I guess. She's ridiculous. In terms of her power level, I love the character, but it's ridiculous that she can just zip around the universe quicker than the ships that go through those, you know, hectagonal portals. I don't even know how that interplanetary space wormholing stuff is going on. But anyway, yeah, that's getting off track. Basically, no one else is available, and it's falling on Spider-Man to step up and be the guy now.
What do you want, Peter?
I want to go back on my trip with the girl who I really like and tell her how I feel. MJ,
Before we get into that reveal, we get our clip now of Hydro Man as well. So we've seen all the three main elementals. We got the water one, which is Hydro Man. The earth elemental is Sandman, I believe. And then we have the fire elemental being Molten Man. So there are elementals that we're dealing with who are just normal comic book villains who are expanded into monster versions of themselves. We also have Mysterio battling Hydro Man or the water elemental, which is cool. We see the full bubble helmet on Jake Gyllenhaal, which is great. We see him using it's just, the suit looks awesome. The powers, the way the green mist comes off, kind of mirroring a little bit like Scarlet Witch's kind of that purple reality stuff she has going on, the red purple stuff. It's just great. I love the visual effects that they're doing so far in this, and hope they're probably not even fully finished. Maybe probably are at this point. It's out very soon, but it's just, they're probably doing touches. It's great. It's so great. And now we have a big reveal between Peter Parker and MJ.
I
am Spider-Man.
No, of course I'm not.
I mean, it's kind of obvious.
What? Kind of obvious? Sorry, I probably just blew everyone's eardrums out. Kind of obvious? Okay, so MJ knows? Or is that a misdirect? Who knows if she actually knows? Maybe she's just joking with him. All right, that's an interesting reveal. That's in the trailer. Why would that be in the trailer unless it's a misdirect? So yeah, okay, that's out there.
You're right, you may not be ready, but this is my responsibility. Saving the world requires sacrifice. Sometimes people die.
Those glasses are the same glasses that Tony Stark was wearing in Infinity War and Endgame. So Peter Parker got them in his will, maybe? I'm not sure, but what are they showing him? Do we have Tony Stark AI? Probably not. Probably still Friday. But because I don't think we'd have that Robert Downey Jr. is casted on this movie or listed on this movie as in the cast unless they've kept that secret. He could have easily recorded some lines in a studio half a day. Would have been easy to do some lines into the year. But anyway, he's getting those. What are they showing him? What devastation is he seeing? Are those glasses allowing him to see through the illusion that Mysterio is doing? Is Mysterio even a bad guy? Is the Earth 833 Mysterio actually a good guy? And that's because everyone's expecting Mysterio to turn bad at some point and turn against Peter and be the villain of the movie. But is the shock, because we're all expecting that and it's very predictable, is the shock that he isn't a bad guy and he's actually a good guy? Is he a bit like Mordo in Doctor Strange, where he's a good guy the entire way through the film? We're waiting for it. We're waiting for him to jump to be a bad guy, and he's not. And at the end, maybe he brings up, Mordo is becoming bad in Doctor Strange because he believes there's too many sorcerers and they're affecting, that Doctor Strange is affecting the time stream by constantly manipulating time, and it can, can destroy the Earth. So in order to save the Earth, Mordo feels he's right that he would stop it. And maybe Mysterio similarly is becoming a villain, by thinking he's in the right, but not really. Or going back to the actor in the comic book roots, is he just someone who's trying to get famous by creating all the illusions, and that Peter Parker sees through it somehow? It could go either way. It really could. Marvel keeps surprising us.
I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
Did you hear the bullets there? So all along he was protecting himself from the elements, but it just there he put up kind of a green energy shield, and you could hear bullets. Bullets are firing. So at this point, who is shooting bullets at him? We don't know any bad guy. Well, we did see Kraven's minions have guns, so it could be them. But my head immediately went to, is he a villain at this point later in the movie? And it's S.H.I.E.L.D., Neil Murray Hill and S.H.I.E.L.D. officers who are shooting at him. Nick Fury himself shooting at him and now trying to take him on because he's turned bad. Potentially, it could be Kraven bad guys, but someone's shooting at him there, and it's not necessarily an elemental attack he's dealing with in that particular scene.
You going to step up or not?
The noir stealth suit? Ugh, love it. That's just amazing, that graphics up. And then we're going to go into the music part, which I love, and then the final scene, which we'll finish on.
guys out of here. Get on the jet.
Who are you?
I work with Spider-Man.
You work for Spider-Man?
I work with Spider-Man, not for Spider-Man. New plan.
Jon Favreau kills it for me. Jon Favreau absolutely kills it. He's so good. You know, the whole thing of I work with him, not for him. You know, it's just great dialogue. Really, really good. Guys, that trailer has hyped me up. I mean, I was obviously hyped up to watch this movie. Following on from Endgame, it's the linchpin between Phase 3, which is, you know, to sign off to, you know, Cap is an old man now. He's more or less finished. And we know that real world Chris Evans is finished with the character for the time being. Robert Downey Jr. is finished with his character for the time being. So we're not seeing these main lead guys anymore. Thor probably is rumored to be doing a new deal, and there might be a Thor 4. He's definitely probably going to appear in as Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yeah, okay. We've got other characters going to TV shows such as Falcon, Bucky, Scarlet Witch, Vision. Hawkeye is getting a TV show possibly as well. So we're getting a lot of that stuff happening for all the characters we've known and loved. But Spider-Man, you know, he's carrying us into now Phase 4, and we're going to get a bunch of other stuff. I will talk about the other things in terms of, we know there's a Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2. We know about the Eternals movie that's coming, the Black Widow movie that's meant to come, and my thoughts and theories about that. I don't think it's a prequel back to her origin at all. I think it's between Infinity War and Endgame, but we'll get to that in another video. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I mean, all the other characters that are going to carry on. We've got lots to look forward to. Phase 4 is coming next year, but what a send-off to Phase 3. An amazing looking Spider-Man movie. This trailer has me hyped. The multiverse is real. You know, that's insane. That kind of, it does cheat things. I mean, we know that Loki can come back now because of him teleporting off with the Space Stone during the altered reality version of the history. Yeah, a lot can happen. But they've opened up so much stuff now. And I imagine there's going to be a way where they kind of shrink it back down, because you keep expanding, it gets too crazy. And us hardcore fans will love it. I'm loving it. But I guess the mainstream audience will start losing touch with what's happening, and it gets too confusing and too convoluted. So I think they're doing this massive expansion, but I believe at some point there's going to be a shrink back down and a consolidation to one timeline, one reality. And they're not going to bring in any people from outside for a while then, once they've reconsolidated. How they do that could be the Eternals movie possibly, because that gets into that more kind of outlandish kind of space cosmic stuff. It could be Guardians of the Galaxy that fixes that by dealing with some weird cosmic threat that crunches everything back down. Who knows? No one really knows. I'm hyped. Amazing looking trailer. And yeah, we're going to leave it at that. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you are as hyped for Spider-Man Far From Home as I am. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.